While many people respect the effort and intelligence of the Sigma INFJs, others do not see their potential or the worth the Sigma INFJs carry. These are 10 reasons why Sigma INFJs are frequently misunderstood by society. Number 10, it's challenging to recognize the Sigma INFJ's greatest work. Since they function best in their thoughts, Sigma INFJs are frequently undervalued. Although they are analytical thinkers, they won't go about claiming that they are okay with coming up with their best ideas in secret, giving the impression that they are left out. They don't mind if people think they're stupid because adoration doesn't interest them anyhow. Therefore, they exhibit twice as much attention-seeking behavior as other individuals. Sigma INFJs engage more of their energies in their inner experiences than other people do. They concentrate their efforts on thoughts, ideas, emotions, and memories. They investigate personality differences and computer network issues in silence and seclusion. So unless someone specifically asks, no one is aware of the tremendous accomplishments they have achieved. Number 9, they may continue to make their speculative guesses. For Sigma INFJs, it's simple to deny something until they can prove it to themselves. It's simple for them to remain quiet and observe until they have solidified their assumptions. If they still haven't, they'll keep their assumptions to themselves and keep quiet. And if they still don't, they'll think carefully before speaking. Since they believed they were quiet even while they were flaming, they undervalued Sigma INFJs. Number 8, they are not engaged in self-promotion, in contrast to certain people who are good at it and exaggerate their accomplishments and self-esteem. Sigma INFJs only utilize their great conversational abilities to share their recent endeavors and successes with others. Publicizing their accomplishments isn't simply their thing, even if they aren't embarrassed of them. Despite being the most successful professional in their social circle or the best worker in their workplace, they continue to undersell themselves when they ought to. Sure, they have more confidence in themselves than anybody else does, but what good does it do to brag about it? Because of this, people are unaware of the true quality of Sigma INFJs until they delve into their personal affairs. When people look at them, they see them as being inferior. They are so smart that they don't feel the need to reiterate how smart they are. Number 7, during conversations, they seem to be acting too passively. Sigma INFJs are perceived as the ones with no opinion, so they make people question whether they are really listening. They make people wonder what their plan is, and they make people wonder if they are really engaged in the conversation. Instead of including them in the conversation, people usually exclude them because they believe Sigma INFJs have no relevant ideas to offer. The truth is, Sigma INFJs have a ton of ideas. They simply wait for the proper moment to express them. People often assume that the Sigma INFJs are passive observers who are skilled at evaluating. They could still be verifying or digesting their ideas, or they might be preoccupied with gaining a broader perspective in order to offer more logical solutions. Because presenting information that has already been supplied would be redundant and pointless, Sigma INFJs prefer to remain quiet but attentive observers until they have refined their presumptions. Do you believe that your casual expressions during talks insult other people? Number 6, they don't put as much effort into social connections. The fact that Sigma INFJs are less engaged in social relationships does not imply that they are not. People, however, opt to view things differently. Since they perceive Sigma INFJs as the passive, unconcerned, and less socially active ones, and because they tend to equate extroversion and the urge to socialize with maturity, they believe they can't entrust them with responsibilities that require social contacts. Number 5, so ludicrous are their concepts. When people underestimate Sigma INFJs because they have ludicrous or ridiculous beliefs, it is unjust to them. Many sometimes reject Sigma INFJs because they feel they are being useless, or are simply adding to the stress since they believe they are silly for having such irrational ideas in their thoughts. In actuality, a Sigma INFJ's solutions to issues can be unorthodox, but they frequently work the best. It's not about being ludicrous, it's just about thinking outside the box, and Sigma INFJs won't tone things down for individuals who aren't receptive to that kind of thinking. Do you become angry when others criticize your ideas? Number 4, nobody needs to have faith in them. Because the Sigma INFJs never asked them to, people don't believe in their potential. Many mistakenly assume that the INFJs have no standards to uphold since they solely concentrate on their own affairs and travel at their own speed. But in order to define themselves as successful, which norms and whose standards should the Sigma adhere to? Is it the societal norms and expectations that people are bringing up? Number 3, they constantly appear hesitant. Because of their shy demeanor, people tend to underestimate Sigma INFJs. They don't get to chat with them very much since they are withdrawn. But that's the point. Because they don't get to talk with them frequently, people won't know much about Sigma INFJs. What makes them think they are timid, then? Many mistake the stillness of the Sigma INFJ for a lack of boldness. Even worse, they believe that INFJs were helpless pups full of anxiety and uncertainty. They may have worries, but they are able to manage them without getting upset. In addition to believing they are in command of their own lives, Sigma INFJs understand that they must take ownership of their internal conflicts and turmoil, whether or not others agree with them. Thus, they see no reason to reveal these processes to people they wouldn't even trust. Number 2, they have no desire to defend themselves. Sigma INFJs established a rule for themselves that everything else may be a waste of their resources. They should only focus their efforts on matters that are actually important, and they should only devote their time to activities that can improve their well-being. Absolutely, this includes idle conversation that sparks fruitless debate. They have no desire to defend themselves. Sigma INFJs established a rule for themselves that everything else may be a waste of their resources. They should only focus their efforts on matters that are actually important, and they should only devote their time to activities that can improve their well-being. Absolutely, this includes idle conversation that sparks fruitless debate. Number 1, they have no interest in impressing anyone. Instead of wasting time trying to impress everyone around them, Sigma INFJs focus on doing their jobs well and investing in their emotional well-being rather than working hard to gain social approval. This is because they don't care where they went wrong or how others perceive them, which makes some people hate them so much. However, sometimes it's not about them and not everything is about them. This is why people underrate them. When did you stop impressing your loved ones? They never see the other INFJs competing, and they never see themselves comparing themselves to anybody. They are so okay with being criticized to the point that nothing people say matters to them at all. Sigma INFJs allow people to underestimate them to the fullest extent possible. But one thing is for sure, these impressions don't make them feel less confident or less of a Sigma INFJ. How do you really feel about being underestimated by others? Do you ever get annoyed over this?